Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes, so join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we help entrepreneurs think differently, grow strategically, and achieve breakthroughs that create lasting success. I'm your host, April, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're diving into a topic that could have a significant impact on your business, not by helping you earn more money, but by helping you keep more of what you already earn. And our topic today is advanced tax planning as a strategy for next level growth. And joining us, as always, is entrepreneur, author, business strategist, and the founder of Rajport Group of Achievers, Bimal Shah, who spent decades helping entrepreneurs build businesses with systems, strategies, and long term thinking that create sustainable wealth. Hi, Bimal. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, April. Thank you for having me here. Excited to talk about today's topic. This is the best month to do tax planning for, this year and this calendar year. So, listeners can benefit from this and, excited to share ideas and strategies that people can implement.
Exactly, Bimal. So without further ado, let's start with this topic today. And so, Bimal, you often say that entrepreneurs shouldn't just focus on making more money. They should also focus on keeping more of it. So why is advanced tax planning such an important part of growing a successful business?
So many people think that, if my accountant files my tax returns or, accountant does things, then, my taxes are taken care of and that's, the best it can happen. But there are many advanced tax planning strategies that can be implemented, which many a times, accountants are not aware of or do not get into because that's not, they do somewhat they do because it requires a different level of structure, administration, strategy, implementation, execution, which is not something in their wheelhouse. So this is the reason why, it sometimes, many a times, gets missed out by many, many clients. So it's very, very important to discuss this. And August is the best month. We have a link in the show notes below where people can actually, click and see what's possible for their business and actually look at how much taxes they can save accordingly.
And that makes so much sense, Bimal, because many entrepreneurs automatically assumes that taxes are simply something they have to pay at the end of the year. They don't always realize there are legal strategies available. So, again, that link is available in the show notes, Bimal, right? So now let us proceed with many business owners assume advanced tax planning is only for large corporations. Is that true?
No, absolutely not. Any small business owner who's even making decent income and is paying taxes, I would say usually if you're paying more than 20,000 in taxes, tax planning or, advanced tax planning is for you. Click on that link and you'll see some strategies that, can help you. So anywhere from north of, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 that you're paying in taxes, which means, you have over 100,000 of income, you have potential strategies that you can implement that can reduce your taxes and give you some great tax benefits, not just for 1 year, because once you do it for 1 year, it's every year it's set, and you can take that same deductions going forward for many, many years to come. So it could last for decades, 20 years, who knows? So the benefit of tax planning is not just for 1 year, it's for several decades. And you just do it with a one-time planning fee, that you start off with, and then it's a lifetime of tax happiness.
Thank you, Bimal, for answering that. And I imagine that That's one of the biggest misconceptions people have. They wait until they're making millions before thinking strategically, when in reality, they really should be planning much earlier. And it will last a lifetime, right? As you've said, and they will only pay one time. Thank you for that. Now, if someone wants to reduce their year's taxes while also building a long term wealth, what conversation should they be having with their CPA or their financial advisors?
So one of the things is, is the introduction to the CPA. So, I do a tax-free planning workshop that every Thursday, that you can attend for advanced tax strategies at 4:30. And you would get to learn a lot of things and you can discover a lot of things. And once you think that these are ideas and things that you want to explore, then you can make the introduction and do a team. So nobody needs to get off the seat. Nobody needs to everybody needs to work together as a team. So me as leading the quarterback, and working together with your team, whoever's working with me, and we would work together to make sure the tax strategies are implemented. And that's what it takes, is teamwork and making sure that you have all the tax planning ideas and advanced tax strategies that you can implement. And that's many a times that coordination is missing because the attorney is not talking to the accountant, or the accountant is not talking to the attorney, or the attorneys are not talking to the advisor, or the advisor is not talking to the broker or the administrator. So there are so many people involved in your business, and most of the times they are not connected with each other. And because they're not connected, many times your plan can fall apart.
That's so true, Bimal. And what you have said about this meeting, that's every Thursday, right? I'd like to confirm, is this free for those who'd like to join?
Yes, it is free for, and it's a special, we're nearing to the 100 episodes, so I'm making this as a very gift to all the listeners and people who have been watching the episodes, that it will be available free every second and fourth Thursday at 4:30. So anybody who would like to join, you can get access to me, attorney, and where else can you get access to, you would have to pay thousands of dollars, to sit down with an attorney and discuss many things. Or here you can get access for free, and it's a giveaway gift as we're nearing our 100th episode, in the podcast.
That's so generous, Bimal. And yes, I think that everybody should join this meeting so that they can ask better questions during the meeting with their advisors also, or if they could, they can uncover opportunities also that they don't know that exist as well. So thank you for that. Now, you often talk about building a lifetime value strategy. What does that mean when it comes to advanced tax planning?
So I always believe in doing something that lasts, forever, or lifetime value. And what I mean by lifetime value is, you do it once and you're set and the structure is set, and all you need to do is just follow through every single year and do the routine systematic implementation that was outlined earlier. So as long as you do that, now you have a benefit that lasts as long as you live. And then you have tax benefits that can continue for decades, or so many years depending on how old you are, and the structure depending on the structure that is set up. So because there are multiple strategies, several strategies that can be implemented. And we are going to post the link to the registration in this workshop as well. So you will see the link to the free workshop that's on Thursdays at 4:30, and that you can join and you can attend and discover great ideas. You get to learn. You get to also hear from the attorney. So where else can you get that opportunity?
Exactly. And take note, this is just free. So I encourage everyone to take that step, check check the show notes now. And now also I love that long-term mindset, Bimal, that it's not just about saving taxes today, it's about creating wealth that will benefit you, your family, and for years to come as well. Thank you. Now, can you share an example of how a business owner legally moved money from highly taxed income into a more tax efficient strategy?
So let's take an example, a business owner, in his, mid 40s, making over $500,000, paying over 230,000 in taxes. Now, they could get a structured plan that could give him somewhere, about 300 to $400,000 of a deduction each year. And, this would save him a substantial amount. So if you take it for you, that would save him about 160,000. So it reduced their taxes from 230,000 to roughly, about 40 or $70,000 a year. So that's a substantial thing because, when you reduce your taxes, your tax bracket also goes down. So, you're jumping from a 40% tax bracket down to like a 10% effective tax bracket. And so your taxes could be less than 15, $20,000, and eventually that's what he ended up with, was an effective 12% tax bracket with about 23,000 in taxes. And then when he retires, he's able to take tax-free distributions and take tax-free income, and when he passes away, there's tax-free legacy for the family. So this is an example where a wealthy business owner, with 6 figure in taxes, could save substantial amounts of money, and could apply to many, who's listening.
Thank you, Bimal. And that real example always makes this concept easier to understand. And I'm sure many listeners are already wondering whether similar strategies could work also for their own businesses. So, thank you once again for that, Bimal. Now, since you have written 13 books that help entrepreneurs grow smarter on their businesses, which of your books would you recommend for someone wanting to learn more about tax planning, grants, and free money?
I do talk about grants in many of the books. There's always a resource and a link to, access grants in all of the books. But I do indicate in, the latter parts of the book some efficient strategies and structures in business from book 6 to 13. And we're going to give away $100 Amazon gift card. So in the show notes below, you will see the link to the $100 Amazon gift card, so you can access all the books for free, and then check out a lot of the resources and make yourself a pioneer. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers Platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.